So that means, so I think the planting the vine is kind of like a let up. After you did this, you say, okay, now maybe I can relax a little bit and take it easy, a little bit. I worked so hard. Take a vacation.
Entonces, pudiéramos imaginar que él se sintió con el permiso, se había ganado su descanso.
It says he drank and he got drunk. He drank and he got drunk.
Dice que tomó y se emborrachó.
It says he became uncovered. It says,
Y se describe el hecho de que quedó desnudo.
right. Right. Then it says that in the sages in the Midrashim it says that it was Canaan who saw Noach in this state.
Los sabios nos cuentan que fue Canaán el que vio a su padre desnudo.
He was the son of Cham. He was the son of Cham, who was the son. That was again the three sons were Shem, Cham, and Yosef. I forgot to state their names.
Los tres hijos de Noaj eran Shem, Ham y Yafet.
And Canaan was Cham, the son of Cham.
Y Canaán era el hijo de Ham.
Right. So Canaan saw and he ran to his father and he told him what he told him.
Entonces Canaán vio algo y corrió a contarle a su papá, a Ham.
But his father came to check to see if to corroborate the story. And
Ham, su papá, vino a corroborar la historia de su hijo.
But after when he saw, so then he went and he told the other two brothers what happened.
Cuando vino, vio y comprobó, fue y buscó a sus hermanos y les contó.
Right. And so then it says that Chaim went, and Chaim and Yesef then went and they took a cover and they covered it.
Entonces dice que Shem y Yafet fueron pero a cubrirlo.
Right, and it even says that when they went to cover him, they walked backwards, so they shouldn't have.
Y aún describe el hecho de cómo lo hicieron. Cuando llegaron a cubrirlo, venían caminando de espalda, en reversa.
And it shows you the kind of like this respect and modesty that they had for their father.
Y pone de manifiesto el respeto que tenían para sus papás.
Right, and then it says that so he got out of his he got basically he overcame his hangover. It says.
Y básicamente luego nos informa de que él salió en México le decimos cruda, de ese dolor de cabeza y malestar que viene después de haberse embriagado al día siguiente. Cuando él sale de esa situación.
Okay, and he realized what happened.
Y se dio cuenta de qué había sucedido.
That means they did something wrong. Canaan and Cham, they did something wrong here.
El nieto Canaán y el hijo Ham habían hecho algo malo.
Because they should have, instead of running and putting it in the newspapers, in the Facebook, they should have covered it up himself and not increased his embarrassment.
En vez de haber publicado la noticia, ellos mismos debieron de haber cubierto a su padre.
Right. So then he pronounced. Entonces, now from this.
Okay.
Now this whole incident, we said it turned to be like a pivotal incident that will now affect things in the world from then on.
Este incidente fue crucial porque va a afectar al mundo entero de ahí en adelante.
Right. Again, we said that they didn't have so much power to affect things as before.
Ya no tenían tanto poder como para afectar al mundo como las generaciones antes del diluvio.
Right, but you see here that they did have some significant whatever. They had a significant thing a significant power to affect all of history from then on.
Pero aún así, sí tuvieron algo de injerencia en afectar al mundo de aquí en adelante.
Right. So Noach at this point, Chaim, who basically didn't respect him properly, then he gave them a curse.
Entonces, a Ham, que no le dio el debido respeto, le dio una maldición.
Actually, in the verse it says that he gave a curse to Canaan.
Literalmente dice que la maldición se la dio a Canaán.
And that you should be slave of slaves, he said.
Que serás esclavo de esclavos.
Right, so out of Canaan came out the Canaanite nations, those 7 nations, which eventually we were commanded to destroy.
De Canaán van a salir las 7 naciones que eventualmente se le va a ser ordenado a Israel destruir.
Right, but to Yesef he gave beauty.
Pero a Jafet le dio belleza.
But the presence of Hashem he gave to that it should rest. He gave to Shem.
Pero que la presencia de Hashem sea depositada o reposada sobre Shem.
Right. So Rav Hirsch explains this thing.
Rav Hirsch lo explica esto.
So he says, I don't they don't have it. I'm going to use some of my own things. Some of Rav Hirsch put it together to explain, to say what.
Para explicar esto voy a compartir cosas mías y cosas de Rav Hirsch.
So it's not really, no, I shouldn't say it's mine. I saw it somewhere else, but I don't know where I saw it, so I just have it in my head.
Bueno, dice, no es exactamente de mi autoría. Lo aprendí de alguna otra parte, pero no me acuerdo de dónde.
Basically, a human being, you can divide a human being, let's say, to 3 parts.
Uno puede dividir al ser humano en 3 partes.
And they say that a human being mainly has 3 souls.
Y está dicho que el ser humano primordialmente tiene 3 almas.
What is primordialmente?
What word did you use to say that?
I said mainly. I don't know.
Mainly, primordialmente, yeah. Primordialmente comes from the same origin of mainly. That's the most important, or
all right, I don't know, because in English it has a different connotation, so, but it doesn't matter.
Primordialmente entendiéndose como lo básico y más importante.
Okay, good. So, right. So you have, I would say, like the higher soul is more like the mental soul. So it's thinking and the thinking part of a person.
El alma más elevada es aquella que tiene que ver con pensar.
Thinking and imagination.
Pensar, imaginar.
A lower down, the lower soul, then that's more feeling and.
Un alma menos elevada es la que tiene que ver con los sentimientos.
A person has this. Well, a person has all these parts in themselves, and all people have it.
Todas las personas tenemos esto nosotros mismos.
And so one again. So the next part is feeling, and also speech, verbal is involved there.
Luego aquí está involucrada la habilidad para hablar.
And feeling. Did you say that?
Sentir. Ajá.
Okay, good. And the lower part is the one that controls the most the baser parts of a person, like the drive for life, the drive for relations, that part. But that's a spiritual part of a person also.
Y la parte más baja, el alma más baja es aquella que, aunque también es de origen espiritual o de esencia espiritual, es la que nos motiva a hacer lo que hacemos o a realizar, es el motorcito.
The drive for life, the drive to live, the drive
las
to
ganas de
desire to live,
vivir.
and everything that's included in that, like the drive for men, men and women, that thing.
Todo eso que nos atrae, como la atracción entre un hombre y una mujer.
Okay, and that that itself is also like a life-giving force. Because without that, the life it makes the continue, it helps it makes the affects the continuity of life. That
todo lo que preserva o continúa la vida.
Right. So the thing is that in a person, you can have a person that one part is more dominant, and you can have a person which another part is more dominant.
Y en las personas encontramos una enorme variedad. Una persona puede tener una parte de estas almas que sea la dominante y otra puede tener otra parte dominante.
Right. So then the three Chaim, Chaim, and Yosef breaks down to these three parts.
Entonces, estos tres hijos de Noaj, Shem, Ham y Yafet, nos representan estos tres tipos de alma.
So therefore, like in Shem, it's the higher part, the mental part, that's most dominant.
En Shem veríamos la parte más dominante, la parte más elevada.
Right. Right. Is the mental part is most dominant.
Para Shem, el alma mental es la que predomina.
Right, and the presence of Hashem goes with that, and
la presencia de Hashem va con eso.
That means the knowledge of how to of what Hashem wants in this world and how to be close to God only is held by those people. They know those people of that nature know this. Other people are not going to be able to have this clear.
Y las personas que tienen esa naturaleza son las personas que pueden buscar y encontrar agradar a Hashem.
Only they are able to have an understanding of what Hashem wants in the world.
Porque solo una persona cuya alma dominante es así como la de Shem son las que pueden agradar a Hashem.
Not agradar. Agradar means to be grateful.
No,
to
please.
I didn't say agradar.
To please.
What does it mean?
To please Hashem.
To please? Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right, okay, good. And I'm sorry, I didn't understand the Spanish.
The other one is agradecer. This is agradar.
Okay, good. Good. Sorry. Thank you. Now, and so in the world, these actually is known as the Semites. Actually, in the world, these people.
En el mundo, los descendientes de Shem son conocidos como los Shemitas o Semitas.
And it includes, of course, the Jewish people, and the Indians, the Arabs.
Y incluye, claro, a los judíos, pero también a los hindús, a los árabes.
Right, and so you see that whoever is in that group are very, like God is a very, very big part of their life. That's whoever's in that category.
Estas gentes, estas naciones, para ellos, el Creador, el Eterno Hashem, es muy importante.
Right. We understand that only the Jewish people were given the Torah for whatever, but still they have a certain quality of such things.
Sabemos que solo al pueblo de Israel se le otorgó la Torá, pero aún así todas estas otras gentes que mencionamos tienen en su vida muy presente a Dios.
Right, and a good percentage of them even still retain like the belief in one God, and the Muslims claim that they.
Lo que vamos a estudiar hoy es el final de la parashá de Noaj.
Claim that they still retain such a belief.
Y muchos de ellos, como lo de Noaj.
Which is this part we can call this.
Los árabes, ellos dicen que lo que los caracteriza es que son monoteístas, creen en un solo Dios.
Right. Now, okay, and the next quality is more dominant is the second level of soul, where feelings, speech.
El segundo nivel de alma, el que tiene que ver con el habla y el sentimiento.
And so this is more the Europeans and
estos podemos decir que el pueblo que lo son europeos.
Like in the category, the Greeks, Italians, and
en esta categoría entrarían los griegos, los italianos.
Right, and I assume the Spanish people also.
Me imagino que los españoles también.
And so they're involved a lot with beauty, architecture.
Para ellos, la vida es involucrarse con la belleza, como la arquitectura.
And also they're involved with speaking in a certain manner to be able to, whatever. They have ways of community, like building importance to their speeches and stuff.
Ellos están involucrados en incrementar, en mejorar aún su hablar.
Right. And it's also, all this stuff is in some way, it's certainly a positive in it, and it's for the world, that's what Hirsch says.
Y Ralph Hirsch dice que todo esto es necesario y positivo en el mundo.
In potential, it could be used good and for not good. I mean,
potencialmente puede ser muy bueno.
Because they had like in the tent, and our base of Migdash, they made it a beautiful structure and whatever it was made.
En el templo fue una construcción muy bonita.
And it was looked at as something as basically a special honor of Hashem, that it was made in a certain beautiful manner.
Y estuvo hecha en honor a Hashem de una manera especial.
So it was, right, because it is beautiful.
Porque era hermoso.
And so therefore you could all these things, this architecture and all that can be, and paintings and architecture can be used for a positive thing.
Entonces, la pintura y la arquitectura puede ser usado en una manera positiva.
Right. But they need the other one. They need to be directed by to be under the direction of shame or people who have knowledge of God in order to be directed in the right direction. The brain has to tell the heart what direction to go to.
El cerebro debe de indicarle al corazón para dónde ir. Entonces,
right. If
estas
the heart,
si
right,
el corazón,
go ahead, I'm sorry. If the heart is separate from the brain, then the heart can go off in its own in the wrong direction.
Si el corazón se desprende de la cabeza, va a ir en una dirección incorrecta, equivocada.
And all right, and the third one is Chum.
Y el tercero es Ham.
They are a life force and the soul of a person's life force. And
ellos son como la fuerza de la vida.
And also very just like in a person, that's essential, and in the world it's also essential, this thing.
Para la vida esta fuerza es esencial.
And so too for the world. For a person himself, it's essential, and for the world also, it's essential to have this in the world.
Para una persona es necesaria esta fuerza, pero también para el mundo es necesaria esta fuerza.
Right, and we said somebody asked before, but really they were surely Cham was also a tzaddik. People shouldn't make a mistake. He was also, all the people that were in the boat were tzaddikim.
Y alguien parece que había preguntado en clases anteriores Y el Rab está reiterando que aún Ham era un tzadik.
So all of them were tzaddikim. That's why they were saved, and they were essential from the world. Right. They were essential. The three sons are essential for the world. The world, almost you could say that the world can't exist without them.
Eran tan esenciales estos tres que el mundo no hubiera podido existir sin ellos.
So right, and this, I mean, the third thing is a very, very powerful force, because just like in a person, life force is very powerful. So it's a very powerful force, this thing in the world.
Y esta es una muy poderosa fuerza en el mundo.
Right. They have first of all, in a physical sense, they're very black people are very strong, and they have a very strong, much stronger physical force than the other people.
Podemos nosotros ver que la raza negra tiene mucha fuerza, más que cualquier
And
otra.
certain part, like their musics and stuff like that, has very, very strong influence on the world.
La música que ellos generan tiene una gran influencia en el mundo.
And like their dancing and the music and stuff like that. And
sus danzas.
right, and all this stuff can be for positive. Certainly could be very, very strong positive force for the world. This whole thing.
Todo esto puede ser de una influencia muy positiva en el mundo.
And you see it in some places. I don't, but people, I don't. Sometimes in America they have these like black churches, and I'm not the.
En América hay iglesias cristianas de raza negra.
Right. I'm not saying I don't look. Of course, the Christian, whatever. So I'm not saying it's good in that sense. Just that their enthusiasm for and this, and they really have go crazy.
Okay. Dice, reconozco que son cristianas, son de la idolatría, pero quiero resaltar el hecho de que ellos son muy entusiastas, se involucran, casi se vuelven locos en sus servicios.
So it's a very strong force that if it's ignited in the right direction can do a lot will do a lot in the world, can accomplish a lot in the world.
Así es de que esa influencia que ellos ejercen pudiera hacer mucho en el mundo, influenciar al mundo.
Right. Some people realize that, and there was I don't know. I'm not going to say. Listen, there was a guy in America. There was a guy who helped bring freedom for the blacks. His name was he was also a Christian, whatever. Martin Luther King. His name was Dr. King. They called him.
Y recuerda al Rab a un pastor que hizo mucho por los derechos de los negros en Estados Unidos, el doctor Martin Luther King.
So he was very, he had a very power to influence people and this, and he was a positive person, he was a positive person.
Esta persona, el doctor Luther King, realmente tuvo mucha influencia en su generación, hizo mucho por su raza, por que se tratara mejor a los negros.
Right, and in the current America, you have really the blacks are actually influential now. So people have manipulated them until they're bringing them to help try to tear down the whole country, really.
Y ahora mismo son una fuerza muy, muy notoria y hay gente que políticamente los han manipulado a fechas recientes para lograr cosas.
They're helping them they manipulated them to try to basically trying to tear down the whole America, really. United States.
Tristemente ahora los están usando para derribar a Norteamérica.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know about Mexico. I'm saying is Mexico part of North America? I guess not.
Bueno,
okay, never mind.
Es que dije Norteamérica y técnicamente en el mapa México está incluido, pero no, es Estados Unidos.
It's not included.
Well, yeah,
okay.
if you look at a geography map, Mexico is part of North America, the continent. North America,
okay.
Central America, and South America.
So in Mexico, when you say North America, you mean United States. Okay, good.
Yes, when we as Mexicans say that, we refer to them, but
Okay, good.
United States is safer.
All right, I
Estados
understand.
Unidos es mejor
Okay.
que usemos, pues.
Okay. And so then so then you could see how the world and the way the world is, and loosely it's like the Chum went to Africa, and Shem is in Asia, and Yefes is in Europe. That's how it things shaped out.
Ham terminó en África, Yafet en Europa y Shem en Oriente.
So, and so then you have the 70. From there you have the 70 nations.
Y de allí tenemos las 70 naciones.
Right, and there must be, we said there's some parallel between, all right, we talked about that there's a parallel and between Noach taking care of these animals and the nations, which are.
Vimos un paralelo entre que Noaj esté cuidando estos animales y salen naciones de él después.
Okay. Now I thought we were going to do the next part, but it looks like we don't. We have to do that the next. I thought we'd do today, but it looks like we have to do the next other day about the tower. The tower we'll have to get to next, the next day.
Yo creo que la parte de la torre la vamos a dejar para la siguiente clase.
Okay. So for now, we have a little bit. See if there's any questions, any comments or questions.
A ver, vamos a ver si hay comentarios o preguntas. I put a picture
Somebody
of
has a comment here, Rodolfo.
Okay. Rodolfo, una de esas tres almas es la que gobierna nuestra conducta y comportamiento. ¿Qué se debe hacer para evitar que solo el alma positiva sea la que gobierne y administre nuestros deseos y sentimientos? Okay, so we find that there's a good soul.
Wait, who is this question?
Rodolfo.
Oh, Rodolfo.
So,
Go on.
Rodolfo wants to know what you want to do or not do in order to get the better soul to be in charge.
Well, now the souls are all good. We said all the souls are good, and just that they have to bring the positive out of that thing, out of them, but use it in a positive direction. That's.
Dijimos que todas las almas son buenas, solo encaminarlas a una buena dirección.
Right, and you can't change. You're not going to be able to change into a different one. This is something that you can't change. So, I mean, anybody wants can convert to be a Jew, but I don't know if you're going to change your nature on that. Like that's why you need another generation until for I don't know if you're going to change your nature even if you convert to being a Jew.
No sé si puedas cambiar la naturaleza que tienes, porque cada uno de nosotros es de diferente manera hecho. Aún cuando nos convirtamos, vamos a seguir siendo la naturaleza que somos. No creo que puedas cambiar eso. Sí te puedes convertir.
Maybe you will receive another higher soul, but the certain element of your nature you can't change.
Podrás recibir un alma más elevada, pero la naturaleza de la forma que estás hecho, esa no puedes cambiar.
And so everybody is made in a certain way that just like in a person's body, a body is made up of a head, a heart, and the physical part. So too in the world it's like that, and there's no the body without, if you're missing one part, you're like nothing.
Así como la persona está formada por cabeza, cuerpo, aún el cabello, algo que le falte no va a ser una persona normal.
Not normal. You're nothing. You're almost like
No
you're
eres
nothing, and
persona.
you have zero. You have no value at all.
Si te falta algo de lo que llevas dentro, no eres algo de valor.
If you're missing one of these parts,
si te falta algo de lo interior.
And it's even more than that. It's that the purpose of, let's say, the mind in this is to affect the other things, the other parts. That's almost like the purpose of it.
El propósito de tener esta alma de mente es para que influencie la mente a lo otro que somos.
And if it's not doing it, if it's not influencing, then it's like not doing its job.
Si no estuviera la mente gobernando, decidiendo, no está haciendo trabajo.
Right. So it can't just say, I'll live my life on my own and forget about the other parts. Forget about them. I'll just go off for myself and that's it.
No puedo decir, yo voy a vivir mi vida como quiera. Ahí nos vemos, o sea, hacer mi antojo.
Right. So the world, basically, that's one of the things we learned from the boat of NOAJ also, that we're all in one boat together.
Y ese es otro mensaje que podemos aprender del arca de Noaj. Todos, absolutamente todos convivieron en una sola arca.
Right. So we only can succeed if we're working together. If all these parts are working together, then that would be the end, the ultimate, the success that Hashem wants.
Y si se lograra que todos trabajáramos juntos, estaríamos alcanzando lograr lo que Hashem quiere.
Right. And when Yonah the prophet, hesitated to go help the Nineveh.
Cuando al profeta David,
Jonah.
Sorry. Lo mandaron a Nínive a hablar.
So he was sent by Hashem. So he hesitated. He hesitated to go there.
Él fue enviado por Hashem mismo, pero tardó en obedecer.
But Hashem said, Hashem said to him, how could I not have mercy on these people and whatever?
Y quedó escrito que Hashem dijo, pero ¿cómo no he de tener misericordia de esta gente?
Right. So you see that because these are not, they weren't Jews, whatever.
La gente no era judía.
So you see that they're all these things part of the world, and they're necessary. They're needed for the world. Whatever role they have to play is needed, and we can't just give up on them.
Y si Hashem los toleró es porque son necesarios en el mundo. No podemos deshacernos nosotros de ellos.
Right, and we also, everybody is also responsible somehow for everybody. That's how it is.
Todo mundo es responsable por alguien.
And the big sages, they used to pray when something happened at the other end of the world. They would pray and fast for this.
No importa dónde se suscite una tragedia, una emergencia, los sabios enseñaron a rezar por esas necesidades, por esa gente.
I don't know, whatever. I don't know what this that means. I'm saying that sages? I said the great sages this is what they would do.
Los grandes sabios eso es lo que harían, rezar.
And for example, they say that when there's an earthquake on the other end of the world, the Chaim would fast and pray and fast.
El Chaim, si se enteraba que había un terremoto, él ayunaba y rezaba por esa gente.
Okay, because they understood that it's not because we need them, and if there's a loss for them, then we're losing something that we need.
Y él ayunaba y rezaba porque entendía que de alguna forma hacen falta esas gentes. Y si se pierden, estamos perdiendo algo.
Okay, very good.
Okay, dice, Eliseo loves your music classes. Y luego
Thank
Darío, ¿qué significa cuando Rav Wolf dice, cuando uno cambia es como se transforma en otra persona, pero que en realidad esa otra persona estaba dentro de él? Yeah. Espero me entienda, creo que está relacionado con lo del señor Rodolfo. Darío thinks that his comment is related with what Rodolfo was asking, that quoting Rav Wolbe, one changes and becomes a different person. In reality, that new person was always inside the old one.
Right, but that what he means, what Rav Wolbe means there is that you can't. He means exactly that you can't become somebody else. That's the point.
Y dice Rav Schneider, sí, Rav Wolbe está diciendo que aunque uno cambie y se transforme, es la misma persona.
You can't become somebody else. You can only bring out the own potential that's already there in yourself.
No puedes llegar a ser otra persona, solo sacar el potencial que ya estaba dentro de ti.
That's what it means to go up in the levels in the skyscraper. To bring out a higher dimension in yourself.
A eso se refiere cuando estudiamos lo que él habló o enseñó, Rab Wolbe, sobre ir subiendo los niveles.
Right, and each type of soul has its own potential of greatness. I mean,
y cada tipo de alma tiene un lugar elevado diferente,
its own
un
potential for
potencial
greatness.
diferente, potencial para alcanzar grandeza diferente.
So it's not. It doesn't. So greatness doesn't have to look like one exact thing. That only this is greatness. There's many different possibilities of greatness.
Entonces, la cara, la fachada de la grandeza no tiene un solo rostro. Hay muchas caras de grandeza. No tenemos que ser réplica de una forma.
Okay. Any more questions?
Baruch Sheazani Kirsono. La clase, mientras los traducía, pensé, bendito aquel que me hizo conforme a su voluntad, que es parte del rezo diario.
Volver a tiempo de, volver a ahora. We return to the present. Okay. Is there anybody with me or todos duermo? Everybody went to sleep.
Aquí estamos, Rob.
Oh, okay. Okay, gracias, Jerson, por ayuda con esta clase. No, yo no viste en chat, no viste sin preguntas a eso. Es yeah, hoy es en Israel, hoy es Pelegria, ¿cómo dicen eso? Election, Pelegria?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, why? I was shut off.
Okay.
Bueno, vamos a ver si hay preguntas.
I don't see any questions in the chat. So anyhow, today we had in Israel. There's elections today, and
Acá en Israel tenemos votaciones.
right, and of course we have to pray somehow that you come out for good somehow.
Y debemos de rezar que de alguna forma resulte en bien.
Right, I mean, because if the other people gain more power now, I mean, they want to, the not religious gain more power. They want to destroy religion in the country. Really.
Porque si los no religiosos obtienen más poder, querrán hacer daño contra los religiosos.
Right. I saw today a thing that one, because of the elections, so you have these people on the streets with the politicking and all that.
Vi en las noticias que por cuestión de las elecciones es que hay gente afuera con
In the streets, people on the streets
En-
politicking.
en la calle, se andan haciendo política.
So one of these people from these left-wing parties, I mean,
Y uno de estas personas de los partidos de izquierda
he went over to somebody who was trying to put on tefillin to people, like the half of Chabad putting on tefillin.
Se acercó hacia una de estas personas que están en esta campaña de Chabad de ayudar a poner tefilín en otros.
And he took the tefillin and he did something. He grabbed onto he grabbed on the tefillin that was there, and he did something very not nice with it.
Esa persona arrebató los tefilín y hizo algo no bueno con ellos.
Right. So this is what if those people gain power, this is the direction they want to go in.
Si las gentes como esa persona adquieren poder, esto será lo que ellos harán.
That's where they're heading, and then that. I mean, no, in the world itself seems to be going in that direction for whatever reason. That's what Hashem wants.
Para allá se dirigen, porque el mundo en general así es, y así
Right,
es como Hashem lo quiere.
right, and clearly it's the time that Mashiach is about to come already. It's right. We're reaching right at the end of the time already. We're getting right to the end there.
Estamos llegando cerca al final cuando llegue Mashiach.
It's the bottom of the barrel.
Es ya la parte más baja del barril.
And right, and clearly, even in this country, I mean, it's clear that whatever
Yes.
happens, the country itself, we're pretty much in danger from Iran and whatever the country.
A nivel del país, lo que haya de suceder, está el país en peligro. Tenemos amenazas de Irán.
Right, because Iran and Russia are now fighting together in Ukraine, they say.
Ahora ya están unidos Irán y Rusia en la guerra en la Ucrania.
So clearly, as soon as they finish up over there, they'll come here. I mean, it's clearly.
Así es de que fácil ver que una vez que terminen allá arriba con esa guerra, vendrán para acá.
So it doesn't matter who's in charge. I mean, whatever. We'd rather have more of the positive. Those other people, who knows what they'll do if they're in charge.
Así es de que preferiríamos tener a gente positiva. No sabemos qué
Right.
harían si estuvieran al frente del
The other
país.
people, right? I already said before. The other people, the left-wing people, will probably surrender. They would just surrender to Russia or whatever. That's what probably will happen.
La gente de izquierda probablemente se rendirían ante Rusia. Eso sería lo que sucedería.
Right, and they're not so crazy like the guy Zelensky to fight. I mean,
No están tan locos como Zelensky para luchar.
they just get surrender and whatever.
Solo quieren rendirse.
Because Russia will promise them whatever, and they'll take it.
Porque Rusia les prometerá cualquier cosa y ellos lo tomarán,
Right, and
lo aceptarán.
This whole thing can happen so quickly, like in a matter of weeks. It could happen. One minute we're like free, next minute we're under Russia, and that's it. Could happen just like that.
Y esto puede suceder tan repentinamente. Un minuto seríamos libres y al siguiente estaríamos bajo el dominio de Rusia.
Right. So we really have to pray now a lot. And,
Así es de que en verdad debemos rezar un montón.
right, and Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of whatever, one of the great rabbis said that the person doesn't realize how much the prayers can affect.
Rabbi Levi Yitzhak dijo que no importa cuál sea el nivel del resto.
One of the great rabbis, he said that a person doesn't realize how much he can affect with the prayer.
Uno de los grandes rabinos dijo que la persona no se da cuenta del gran efecto que ejercen sus rezos.
Okay. All right.
Bien.
Now, so see if anybody has anything about the share that we did. Have anything to say
Bueno,
about this?
vamos a ver si alguien tiene algo que decir del Shur que acabamos de escuchar.
Right. All right.
Solo los semitas tienen el conocimiento para servir a Hashem.
That's what I wrote. That's something that I
Ya.
wrote.
Sí, eso lo escribió el Rab. Eso en manera general.
I wanted to make things
Una
clearer in
cosa.
the share that we had in the share. That I said in the share.
Y yo quería aclarar lo que se dijo en el Shur. Somos responsables por todos en el mundo. Por
Because we
todos.
need we need everything in the world, just like the body needs all these parts. We in the world needs all these parts also.
Así como el cuerpo necesita todas las partes, así todos son necesarios en el mundo.
Right, and someday when Mashiach will come, he will put everybody in the proper place, and we'll understand how the whole thing is supposed to work.
Un día, cuando Mashiach venga, Él pondrá a la gente en su lugar, en el propio y adecuado para cada quien.
And then we'll understand how everything works together.
Y entonces entenderemos cómo funciona todo.
Okay, in the Torah we have some examples.
En la Torá tenemos algunos ejemplos,
Like Eliezer, servant of Avram, was from Canaan.
como Eliezer, el siervo de Abraham. Él era de Canaán.
Right, and as far as the second temple that was built from the king of the Persians, that was considered Yesef.
Y en cuanto al segundo templo construido con la ayuda de Persia, eso era Jafet.
Right, and right, and reverse. Right, and all these things, all these qualities somehow help. They help the world. The world needs these qualities. Even now in the present, the world needs these things. And
Y hasta el día de hoy, el mundo necesita de esto.
just that we have to bring it. It has to be brought to more in a positive direction.
Solo que tiene que ser atraído más a una dirección positiva.
Okay, let's see if anybody has any questions or comments on this or anything, any subject, whatever it is.
Veamos si hay preguntas, ya sea en este tema o en cualquier otro.
Okay, if there isn't any, then we'll finish off the class.
Y si no hay, entonces terminaremos ya aquí la clase.
Okay, I guess there's nobody has questions, so we'll finish up then.
Bueno, entonces si no hay preguntas, aquí terminamos la clase.
Okay, thank you for your help, Senora.
Oh, gracias, Ra, por enseñar.
And okay, thank you, Jerison. And
Gracias a Gerson.
Right. And tomorrow we're gonna have a class. I'm gonna do a new class on the tower that I really never didn't do it properly.
Mañana voy a dar una clase sobre la torre, una que no había dado antes.
Hay pregunta de Selma.
Oh, Selma has a question. Let me see. Gracias, Chile. Selma, Rab,
Yeah.
hay una parte de la clase en la que explica que uno de los hijos representa... Bueno, mi pregunta va a que cuando la mente va, la mente va en una dirección y el corazón en otra, esto genera una sensación de incoherencia.
Yeah.
¿Cómo unificar esto para que sea coherente?
I don't know. Ravobi says, number one, get clarity of mind.
Rab Wolbe dice, primero, obtener claridad de mente.
And B, have dialogue.
Y dos, entrar en un diálogo.
So apparently he's supposed to really the mind or whatever, the higher part is supposed to talk to the other part, to the heart and the depth of a person.
Entonces la mente debe de hablarle al corazón, a sus profundidades.
Right. And then Selma's going to ask me, so what do you do if it doesn't listen? That's what Selma.
Y luego Selma va a preguntar, ¿y qué pasa si ese corazón no hace caso, no escucha?
This I don't know.
Esto no sé.
Rav Wolbe says study. What you need to do is study Torah.
Lo que Rab Wolbe dice es que uno necesita estudiar Torah.
Because that makes it that your mind it elevates your mind and brings your mind and your soul together.
Porque eso eleva tu mente y ayuda a que se unan la mente y el corazón.
And your soul.
Oh, perdón, la mente y el alma.
And then with that, and the soul has a power to affect the person.
Ya con eso, el alma tiene la facultad para
Right.
afectar.
But then someone will ask, well, what happens if it's you haven't achieved this yet? What do you do then?
Y Selma preguntará, ¿y qué sucede si esto no se lleva a cabo aún?
Dad, I don't know. You're right. I don't know. I don't know what to
Y
do.
eso no sé qué hacer.
You have to pray and try your best. That's all.
Tendrá uno que rezar y hacer su mejor esfuerzo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now all of a sudden people have more questions. Oh no questions. Piensa que debemos hacer. Oh, that we said already. Okay, all right. I guess we could finish with that then.
Ok, entonces podemos terminar con eso.
Okay. Thank you. Gracias. Shalom a todos. Shalom.
No.